Sweep out the rooms of your heart to be the home of the one, purified from cells, Mukta Kimala. Sweep out the rooms of your heart to be the home of the one, purified from cells, Mukta Kimala. Sweep out the rooms of your heart to be the home of the one, purified from cells, Mukta Kimala. Sweep out the rooms of your heart to be the home of the one, purified from cells, Mukta Kimala. Sweep out the rooms of your heart to be the home of the one, purified from cells, Mukta Kimala. Sweep out the rooms of your heart to be the home of the one, purified from cells, Mukta Kimala. Last time. Sweep out the rooms of your heart to be the home of the one, purified from cells, Mukta Kimala. Mukta Kimala. Mukta Kimala. Afuala. our last time on the moon for today, for this time, for whenever this is.
This is it. This is all there is.
And so I wanted to come back to the beloved moon. And remembering that shining on the water, that was from the original card. It's in almost every tarot deck. When the moon is there, the water is there to reflect it. So we're going to really explore a little bit more about that, how we can use our own watery nature to reflect that which is around us, including the light. Yes?
Tell me when you're finished. I want to say about something.
Go ahead.
Lag times. I think of this card. First of all, I think of Electric Light Orchestra. Moonlight on the water, I saw the ocean's daughter. It's almost a tarot commentary. You know, it captures that, some of the other cards we've been seeing. But when I think of moonlight on the water, I think of that, you know, that yin energy too, very yin with the moon. But on the water, I think of the light of the one being reflected, the light of high self being reflected through conscious self to all the emotional body inside. Because the water archetypally can signify so many different things, and each of us sort of, ultimately you want to hold the image and see what arises inside of you. But for me, the mind type, the water is the emotional body on one level. The water is also the one being, the ocean of light, love, and life on another level. So the light of high self is coming of the one through conscious self as we reflect on the emotional body within and the unity within the diversity also. It's a beautiful image.
Yeah, it really is. And then, well, I was going to do one other thing. So, and then I'll show you this, and we'll do alongside of it the so this is a little bit more of the daylight, but it's still that incredible beauty of that, the water and the light, and how it's always that part of us that can reflect, that really has that capacity to be the witness and allow what it is that's coming through to be there. So let's do our invocation of the light before we begin. Beloved, give me light in my heart, and light in my hearing, light in my eyesight, light to my right, and light to my left, and grant me light from above, and light from underneath, and give me light in front of me, and light from behind, and increase my light. And I think of how beautiful that invocation from Muhammad. It speaks to also how that light is always around us. And so when we reflect it, it comes in all directions. And so it's not just coming from within, but it's also coming from allowing whatever comes to us to reflect back light. So let's begin with our exploration into our bodies with this. And we're, as with the moon, because this whole experience of like coming, if we do any kind of soul work, the very first thing we do is we really want to empty in order to fill, in order to be able to energize and experience who we really are. So in this case, with the moon, we're really starting with this emptiness, and then we're going to come back to the water again after we go through all the elements.
And on the one hand, a lot of people, especially in other spiritual traditions, think of emptying as getting rid of everything. In this case, the first aspect of emptying and soul work is to unblend, is to not be blended. Because as you unblend, you may find different selves that need attention so that they can relax, so that you can open more to the light of the one of high self. And the light of high self supports that. So emptying, at the first stage of emptying is unblending. And sometimes all the selves relax and we're just in high self and the one.
Right. Well,
when we're lucky at times, there's grace for you.
So we all think of it as like, oh, we want to get rid of all these things that are bothering us, but it's more like, that's what I like about the elements, is thinking of it as like using these experiences of who we are, because the elements are who we are already, right? So we don't have to get rid of anything. It's like in earth, it's not like anything is gotten rid of when it sifts through. It's like when the sand is sifting and different elements go to the bottom or come to the top. But it's allowing things to take their proper place. That's what earth does. You know, it's like it sifts through what's needed, what isn't needed for really even creating soil. It's constantly doing that. The little microorganisms in it are always helping to find what's breaking things down. And so as we go through the earth and the water and the light fire and the air, think of it as you're not getting rid of anything. You're just letting the elements move them in a way that allows for some space.
I like that. Everything finds its proper space. Like an infant self would be in the nursery in the garden.
That's right, exactly. So finding your feet on the ground and really letting yourself for just that moment feel that earthiness as you breathe in and out of your nose. That sense of really, wow, we are bones, we are muscles, we are structure. This body is. Sometimes the bones and muscles, well, not the bones, but sometimes the muscles hurt. They're tight.
The bones can hurt too. You get a deep bone ache.
I guess so. Okay, I did have a bone bruise. So every once in a while, those bones hurt too. So just before we begin, just let yourself feel into your body, and you can stretch or just feel how your body wants to express itself right now as you breathe in and out through your nose. Maybe there's certain areas that are just calling for your attention right now as you breathe, and just go there, stretching them. I got to play with soil yesterday, and I was really noticing all of the many worms. So those worms are always sifting through the soil. So we're going to let those, you could say, that worminess of the soil come through our bodies and begin to let us sift out and begin to break down anything that's a little bit too rough. So letting our feet feel that as they knead themselves into the floor. Breathing deep, rich, full breaths, especially out on the exhale. Feeling those feet, even as they just kind of come in contact with the earth, they're sifting through, they're allowing themselves to, you know how when you walk on the beach and all of those hard parts on your feet, they all get softened. We're just asking that the earth softens our feet into a place that we can feel comfortable. And that same softening, that same sifting through as we go into our shins and our calves, letting those move back and forth. You can use your hands. Imagine all the sand sifting through there. taking off any sharpness. Our knees and our thighs, letting them let the sand sift through this part of your body. All the way up into your hips, the bottom of your spine, your whole area of your genitals, your first and second chakra, just letting it sift through whatever isn't needed right now, whatever can sift to the bottom, extra tension in this area, extra holdings on of who we're supposed to be, how we're supposed to be. And gently letting this sifting happen. All the way up until you get into the belly, hara, the solar plexus. And imagine you've got all of your intestines and many other organs in this area, and you're just letting the sand be this purifying agent that's sifting through anything in there that is stuck, asking it to be able to move on right now. If there's something more we need to know about it, we can find out about it later. Just this quiet sifting movement. And letting ourselves come all the way up into our hearts and our upper chest. Same sifting movement of those sands. Gently rubbing down anything that's really rough. We're here with you. Any rough spots in our heart that make it hard to open. Any ways that we stay in control. We're just allowing those parts to know we're here, and you can just gently let go a little bit right now. Soften. The worms are crawling around, helping to soften us. All the way up into your shoulders, and really feel the way that those shoulders they can take on too much burden and responsibility, and we're just asking them to soften up a little bit. Those gentle worms come in and sift the soil of your shoulders all the way to the fingertips of your arms, all the way through, kind of like you're swimming very slowly through the soil. With deep, rich, full breaths, especially that exhale through the nose. And all the way up into our necks. All those muscles that are always being used to look at the computer, to look at something, to take it all in. just letting them be gently sifted through, rubbing them down, just like a good massage. Everything we're doing is just like a good massage, letting everything gently sift through in the body, all that extra tension, all the way up into your head, your face, your scalp, the back of your head. All the thinking that we do and all the way we create tension around our eyes and our forehead and our back of our head. So we're doing this. Gently asking it to sift away any tension. A couple more breaths throughout your whole body. See wherever else there might be anything that needs to sift away. Deep, rich, full breaths. And then letting go and just standing for a moment and feeling your body, this earthly experience of form and structure. Remind ourselves at this moment before we go into water that we can always give our weight to the earth. So let's do just a couple of sighs to do that. Feel the weight going down, being held by Mother Earth. And one more. That's a good preparation for water too, as that wonderful exhale. So breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. And water really helps to purify and allow for things to be sorted out again through movement. If you notice, sometimes there's often things on the sides of the rivers or they're washed up on the shore. So you can think of that's all we're doing. We're asking whatever is no longer needed to just be washed up. So we're gonna, especially on the exhales, really extending those exhales. We're gonna start all the way at the top of our heads to imagine that this water's coming down from the heavens, from the rains. We've had a lot of rains here in Southern Oregon. I think there's a lot in the Midwest. So just imagine those rains coming down and letting our heads really move around in circles, just like in whirlpools. And I get stuck a little bit in the water, and those whirlpools kind of push off everything that's no longer needed. Or that gentle wave motion, that way the water soothes you, rocks you. Letting that come all the way down into your throat. Your neck, let your neck be soothed and rocked. As you breathe deeply, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And bringing it into your shoulders. Really feel that way that the shoulders can release all their burdens, as they say in Hakomi, shrug them off. Shrug it off. Letting go of all the things not needed right now. You can think of it as doing the backstroke, or just really luxuriously swimming in the water, letting the water support you. All the way into your elbows and your wrists, letting everything just unfurl, letting it come apart as it just lets go into the water. The water supports us, it holds us up. Imagine really just being able to do all of this in water where there's no resistance. All the way up into your chest, your upper chest, and your heart area, your back, your scapula. Let all that area just be swirled gently around in the water. Sometimes it might want a little bit of a whirlpool, and other times a wave. And other times just that sloshing back and forth, rhythmic rocking of the water. Rock me on the water. All the way down into your solar plexus and your intestines. You're letting this whole torso move and reminding your heart that it may have all these feelings in it that make it feel stuffed up or like it doesn't want to open, but just let it know that it can rest now in the water, be supported, be soothed. Soothe your fevered brow. I'm hearing Jackson Browne, rock me on the water. All the way down to the hips and the sexual organs. Just really, again, letting them gently, or you can whirl them up. Let them feel the wave motion of being purified in the water, held in the water. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. Just letting go, letting the water take whatever it is you no longer need. All the way down to your thighs and where they meet your hips. You can let that area move too. You can lift up your leg and really feel that way. That imagine the water is just taking your leg. Your knee and your all the way down to your toes, your ankle. It's all being just gently swished around. Both legs. Kind of like a fish. Your leg can feel a little bit like a floppy fish. You can let your whole body become the fish. Just swimming. It's all, the fish is so in the water. It is the water. It lives, it knows the water. Letting the whole body be in this watery ocean. One more breath in of water, letting it pour upon us. And then coming to rest. And we're going to let some sun dry us off, and so going to let that light in, breathing in through the mouth and out through the nose. So as we do this, we're just really going to begin to imagine drying off and beginning to feel like almost like when you shiver, because it's been a little cold, so you're going to let yourself shiver with the sun coming in and activating us. And we're going to let go of any way we've held on to these ways that we are really contracting in our muscles, those ways that we've gotten overly upset and we just felt like we had to get rid of it. Well, we're going to ask that the body no longer hold on to it. So we can come back to what that is about for us. But we're going to let go of it in the body. So we're going to shake out through the legs. You can flick them. You can shake them. You can let them vibrate. But you're going to ask them to let go of any way they've held on to anger or frustration or fear. And then coming up into your hips and letting that happen in your hips. Any fear, any frustration, any anger. Because this whole sympathetic nervous system comes into the whole body when it gets activated. So we're asking it to just let go. Let the muscles come back to their normal tonus. All the way up into our solar plexus and our hara, and we're even asking parts of us that maybe want to take control and hold on to let go. Especially while we're doing this soul work. Ask them to just vibrate with aliveness. Let go into the light. All the way up into the heart. Asking those walls to gently vibrate around the heart, not making them so solid anymore. All the way up to our shoulders. And again, vibrating all those ways that we've taken on too much. Asking them to fall down. Come to rest. Letting go of anything caught in the arms. Shaking them out. Flicking them out. Letting our arms know that we don't have to keep over giving to everybody. I don't have to do this for you. Just say no. And then we'll have room to say yes. And then all the way up into your neck and your head. Letting this beautiful light, the sun, fill your neck and head and vibrate it of any leftover fear, anger, frustration, overthinking, worry. And let the whole body vibrate as we breathe in fire, letting it go. Any extra tension in the body. One more big breath. And coming to silence, stillness for a moment. Feeling that vibration in the body. And let's let in the purifying aspects of air that loves to blow things away. It just relocates it for a time being. So as we're breathing in and out through the mouth, we're going to let ourselves start with the head. Anything that's left in the head, we ask it to really blow away for now. Find a corner in your heart to stay and be there until we can get to you. Letting go of all those threads of thinking, having to figure it out. The best way to say things. And letting there be this really open space, imagining porosity in your head, in your mind, in your throat. Big pores open to being blown away. Being like a desert tumbleweed, blown by the wind. Letting that happen in your shoulders and your arms. And in your torso, your heart. And just asking the wind, the air element blows through anything that's no longer needed in this time, in this space. And letting go of the air, breath again. Coming back into the body and just, we're going to finish with water. Come back into that reflective surface. So breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. We begin to just really, this time, imagining that we're letting go of any ideas we have about who we have to be or how we have to do something. And we're going to let the ideas just flow down like water. From the top of our heads into the pool of water that we're in. Into every cell is filled with water. Become that beautiful pool that you see, whether it's a pond or a lake. Feel that sense of being smoothed over by all the elements, and now you are just the water. Gently flowing. There's always a little bit of motion, even if you can't see it. There's this little bit of motion in the water, so let your whole body just gently come into this little field of this rocking. Think of yourself as a tiny wave. Maybe you never even crack the surface of the water, but you can feel all the way down that flow. Become that lake, that beautiful reflective surface. And then letting yourself come into the moon breath, which is just an exaggerated exhale on, you imagine it coming out your left side nostril, and you just inhale whenever you have to. It's not, you don't exaggerate it, you just allow the exhale to be exaggerated. And I want you to imagine is that body of water now, the sun is coming out, or the moon. Maybe it's the sun of your own heart. Maybe it's the sun of a friend. Something you're happy about, or some beauty. Let yourself just feel that sun, that light reflected in you. And let's gently have a seat, remembering whatever we might have picked.
And just allowing your breath to flow in and out around the sacred space of your heart. You can stay with this water breath if you wish. Just imagine sort of this ocean of love, of water, flowing in, around, massaging your heart. And as you exhale, just flowing out, just really washing, embracing your heart in this element of water. As you just stay with whatever breath you wish, breathing in and out of the sacred space of your heart. Just listen as we move more deeply into the sacred space, the garden, the temple of the heart. Toward the one, the perfection of love, harmony, and beauty. The only being, united with all the illuminated soul selves, who form the embodiment of the Master, the message, the mystery, the miracle, the Mother, and the Spirit of guidance. So as you continue to breathe in and out of your heart as conscious self, just reflecting on, there's so many things to reflect. But right now, seeing with the eye of the heart, listening with the ear of the heart, to the garden of the heart. Just take a moment to really open, to reflect, whether it's just the intention, whether there's a felt sense of energy, of soft, of light, whether you see, hear, feel, smell, taste. But take a moment to just drop into this place of love, harmony, and beauty of the heart, this place where the whole universe dwells within you. Take a moment to open, to rest there, inviting all the selves to come into the heart, inviting them all to find places to rest, their own special place each, because you as conscious self are just bringing the selves in, letting them rest. The world out there is so challenging and difficult, and so many things to do and things to take care of. And right now, there's nothing to do, nowhere to go, but allow all the selves to rest within the sacred space of the heart. To take a moment, this conscious self, to just invite them in, to just rest, to be in the beauty of the heart. And as you continue to rest, moving in your own time, you can use my voice as a guide. You may move faster or slower, or your high self may take you to other places. But otherwise, with all love and respect, we call upon high self to come into the garden of the heart for a time of communion, a time of guidance, a time of dialogue. But we begin by opening, by breathing in, especially the love, the light, the life of high self. Just allowing yourself to open as conscious self, to be this beautiful body of water. And the light of high self can reflect off, and the light of high self can shine into the depths also, can penetrate into the depths, but allow yourself to be this body of water reflecting some in the depths, the light of high self, penetrating deep. You just allow the light of high self to penetrate deep within all the layers of you as conscious self, and also to reflect off into the world, into all the selves that are within. Breathing the light in as you breathe in, and as you breathe out, just letting it reflect off to the room you're in and to all of us gathered here. Breathing it in into the depths, exhaling and reflecting off. And these cells that are busy or worried or have something going on, let the light just flow through, in and around them. The light of high self is there in this beautiful watery garden of the heart. And you can think of each self as a dewdrop floating in here, the light flowing through you, flowing through them. Inviting all to just pay attention to high self. One of those little drops comes in, and just asking it to just circle around you. You're in the center of this solar system with high self, the very core, and there who you are as conscious self, and all the selves circling around you. A little bit of a binary system in the center with you, high self, conscious self is you, and high self. can just stay with that if you wish, or if you wish, you can ask, beloved High Self, how can I allow your light to come deeply into me and to illuminate all the different selves inside so I can see them all and come into relationship with them all? And how can I let your light reflect into the outer world? Just opening to any guidance, any wisdom about letting the light of High Self flow through with you so you can become aware and discern, illuminate all the selves inside. And when that happens and you're clear, allowing that light to just reflect off into all the world around you. And also imagine that light flowing into you as conscious self, and then you can reflect that light back to all the different selves inside. The light of High Self can flow, illuminate, heal, hold, caress, be with any self that's present. As conscious self, we can remind we don't have to work so hard. We can just breathe in and let that light of High Self flow out and illuminate all the selves inside. And you can just allow that to happen for another few minutes right now. You may know some selves you can see or hear or feel them or are aware of their feelings, especially with this water element. And some selves you just know is sort of that, the pattern, the sensations form that pattern on the lake or the river or the ocean. The waves are sort of the patterns. So maybe you know that just through patterns of sensations, ripples. And there may be feelings with those and thoughts and a movement of the body, but just tuning in to the sensations of the self in the body, the feelings of the cells in the body, letting the water hold it all. Conscious self, you can think of yourself, as Rumi says, as the clear bead at the center, as this drop where the infinity of the one is in you, this clear drop. You're this clear dewdrop, and all the selves are other drops around you. Allowing all the drops to dance in the light of the one. You can invite them for right now to just lay down their burdens and dance, any selves that wish to dance in the light of the one. Shimmering. you're ready, inviting all the cells to just circle around you and high self. And begin to just breathe this breath of unity with you and high self. Inviting them all to breathe this water breath. Just opening, just being receptive to any messages floating from high self, from any of these other selves as we continue with this breath of unity. And then just one last moment, allowing the light of high self to flow through you and to really just be reflected to all of us gathered here too. And then reflecting out to friends and family. Reflecting out to all those in your city, town, watershed. And reflecting out through the whole world, to all the 8 billion souls, into all life, into Gaia herself. And then we'll take a deep breath in and bow to our inner lives. Actually, with this, we'll just use the sacred sound Nur, which is that light, the light of the One, the subtle light of everything. We'll bow to our inner lives with that Nur, and as we come up, we'll bow to the outer, coming back in our own time and way. And just reflecting on your soul work journey, anything you wish to remember like a dream, just reflecting whether you write or reflect inside, stretching whatever you need to do to come back to your dwelling space, refreshed and alert.